Hey everybody, this is Chris and Floyd. It's official now. Floyd has the decal and is officially named Floyd. And you'll notice it's in the font of Pink Floyd, which came from the fact that now I keep my quads on the wall for kind of display during my videos in my office. So it was a brick at the time and it was on my wall. Floyd popped it in my head and that's what I decided to start calling them. So it's official now. This is Floyd, and we're back at the Q Mahoning Reservoir and Dam, and we're going to pretty much duplicate exactly what I did yesterday. We're going to fly into the sun, same time of day, and over the water. And this time, the only thing different I did is I actually cleaned the lens with a camera lens cleaner, and then I did the dry cloth. Last time, all I did is use a dry cloth. And if there was any oil or anything on the lens, I might have just smeared it. I don't know. So I just want to rule that out, and then maybe I'll play with some camera settings. We're going to go in all the presets. We're going to start out in all the presets like I did yesterday. And that way everything is duplicated from yesterday's flight and just see if it improved the video at all. I have reformatted the disc. Just silly little things like that, and we'll see if that helps. So we're going to go out in sport mode, and then the reason I'm doing this here in the car is it's extremely windy out. It just calmed down. I hope it stays that way, but on my weather app it was like 28 miles an hour wind gusts and a good steady 18 mile per hour wind. So always blowing away from the dam towards me. And very hard to fly in because my eyes get all watery, I get all snotty, and you don't want to see that. So that's why we're in the car where it's nice and warm. And you can hear me, you don't have all that of the wind. So we're not going to do a screen recording, we're just going to send it out there. And then if I feel like anything needs to be said during the video, I'll just narrate while I'm editing it, and you guys can hear whatever I have to say on that. So I'm sure some things will pop up that I'll talk about, and maybe we'll throw a little music in there and make it enjoyable. So that is pretty much it, but I just want to say thank you so much to Damon Jacobs for making this label for me. Made me a bunch of them in my QC guy as well, my logo. He did them in the Zino green, black, and white. So I'm very happy for those. He also made me a water bottle with my logo on it, or took a water bottle and put my logo on it. That was nice. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then one little safety precaution I want to give everybody, a little tip and warning. I've had about 6 flights with the Zino now. And I've noticed 2 prop screws this morning. I did my little kind of pre-flight check this morning and found 2 prop screws that were just starting to loosen up on me. So if I would have gone out and flown today without checking those, they definitely would have loosened up on me. So that would have been catastrophic. So yeah, you don't want to have any catastrophic prop failure on your quad. It would be catastrophic if you're over the water like this and you lost your quad altogether. So 10 feet off the ground is just a boo-boo. But either way, you want to check your props, make sure they're good and tight. So, and speaking of YouTubers, I want to give a shout out to one, and I got to look at the date here. Josh at Parks and Tech. On Wednesday the 26th, he will be receiving his Zino 2. Josh is very excited about this. I don't blame him. Josh ordered 2 of them. He ordered one through GearBest, and he ordered one through Hubsan. And it's arriving on Wednesday the 26th from, drumroll, Hubsan. So Hubsan is beating the pre-orders of GearBest. So congratulations to Josh over at Parks and Tech. I know you are very excited. I have seen your FedEx tracking pasted all over Facebook, and I'm very happy for you. So everybody, jump on over to Josh at Parks and Tech. I'll put a link to his channel in this video. Jump on over to his channel and check out Josh and his first initial thoughts and everything with the Zino 2. And he's also going to be getting the new waterproof egg. Or no, he has the new waterproof egg, but he's going to be doing that on his channel. So he's not too far from me. He's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so you'll see us swapping on our channels where I might go fly with him and he might come fly with me, and hopefully we'll kind of trade off on some of our quads, because I'm going to fly that damn egg, Josh, and I'm going to fly it out here over the water. So I'm going to be getting something new that I am really excited about, and I'm going to share that with Josh and let him have a go at it with that. So we'll swap my new quad whenever I get it, maybe in the spring, and his new egg, and swap them on each other's channel. So subscribe to him and you can see us together on each other's channels and what have it, and all the great stuff that Josh will do. So one last shout out I want to give, and that's to Chad B. Chad B is one of the earlier flyers of the Zino 2, and the reason he gets a shout out, because that's another person I want to go get together with, because he's out in my hometown where I was raised and where my mama lives, and that's Woodbridge, Virginia. And if you noticed where he was flying, he was over a creek, and I want to correct everybody on the pronunciation of that creek. It's Neabsco Creek, not Nobsco or Neebsco. It's Neabsco. So it's Neabsco Creek. It's an inlet off of the Potomac River, and I grew up on that river. We lived off of that river, and literally I could walk to where he flies from the house where my very first home that I purchased when I got married and we had kids. So he's not far from my mom at all. So I will definitely get together with Chad as long as his schedule works out. So go check out Chad's channel, and like I said, he's got the Zino 2 as well, and I'll put a link to his channel in the description of this video. And I also worked off that Neabsco Creek, if anybody cares. I worked at Easy Cruise Marina there, and a girl that I grew up with, her father owned Hampton's Landing Marina there. So just a little insight on that area. So let's go ahead and get on with this flight, and we're going to go head on into the wind, check out the camera settings, see how they do on automatic, and then maybe stop, turn off the recording, play with them, start recording, and see if I can improve upon it. But I will first off flat out tell you, I am not a camera guy. So when it comes to settings, I don't know what to do exactly, except for kind of play with it here and there, and just see what I'm looking at on my phone. So that's all I'm going to do, and see if we can improve upon it. So enjoy the flight. It's kind of going to be a duplicate of yesterday's, but we're just going to see if we can improve on the camera. So here we go. Enjoy the video, and we'll talk to you later. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and narrate during this and just point out some things. This is the first battery takeoff, and all in all it's only just over 10 minutes worth of flight, 2 batteries. So hopefully you'll watch this, and if you have any suggestions or anything you notice, please feel free to let me know. The first thing you see right off the start here, right off the bat, is that bottom left hand corner, and then as soon as you get light into the lens, that type of stuff goes away. But like right here, as we're turning into this glare, this is what I would expect to see, and this is what I see out of all my other quads that are 4K. This actually is not bad at all. So this is something I would leave in a video, because it's pretty much expected in what you get when you're flying directly into the sun. But when you take that glare out of the lens, that's when everything gets worse. So you've got the sun still coming straight at the lens, but you remove this glare and it really gets crazy. So what I'm going to do right here is I basically come to a stop
here soon. But I mean, you see these huge color flares. But I come to a stop and I'm raising an altitude. So I'm just sitting in one place. I'm just raising up an altitude. And I actually go pretty high. We'll leave that quiet as to how high I go. But here I go left, right, just to show the different color reactions that it's getting. And again, I'm sitting in one spot and I'm just yawling at this point. And I'm still raising an altitude. And then you'll see it looks like the north and the south are launching missiles at each other across the reservoir. And either that or the 4th of July and everybody's shooting off their fireworks. But this is not what I expected all flying into the sun. And I mean, to be real, you do expect degrading into the sun, but this is complete video destruction right here. It's not even editable. Edible. You're not going to eat it. You're not able to even edit something like this and do anything with it. So at least not with anything that I'm aware of. But like that right there, I mean, that's as bad as it gets, and not something I see with any other quad. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually going back down and getting myself at a comfortable flight altitude. So just that raising up and down really threw it off. Now right here, I don't know if we're gonna call this jello or what, but this is the worst I've ever seen on any quad I've had. And you're gonna see it right about there. And that's pretty bad. Now we did have some strong winds, and you know, I'm going kind of catty-cornered into them. So that could have been something where, you know, the props were fighting extra hard to keep her stable. I don't know. It's not a cold day out at all. We were in like 43-degree temperature. It was just very windy. So here we're going out with the second battery, and this pretty much duplicates exactly what we had out of the first battery. And I did not change any settings. I was going to, but I decided not to. The big thing I want to point out, you just saw jello again. I've replaced the props. I took all my new spare props put on just to see if they'd make any difference, and that made no difference whatsoever. So here you have the same situation. You get that glare into the screen and you get exactly what you would expect. This is what I get out of my other quads. You get that darker image around the sides. You get something that's, you know, not perfect, but it's something that you can still leave in your video if you want to. It's not terrible, because this is what we expect flying into the sun. It darkens your image elsewhere, gives you some of these sun rays that you have coming down from the sky. This is all typical stuff from you know, reflections with the lens like that. So everything I'm showing you, something like this, a polarized lens would really clean up and look good. But everything else, a polarized lens is, as far as I know, is not going to fix any of that. Some of this it might, where it's not real bad, but when this gets really dark, these glares, I don't know that polarized would do anything with that. So there is a set of filters that you can buy for the Zino 2, but they don't have polarized, so that's why I did not buy them, because that's pretty much the #1 filter that I use on my quads, and I have it for all my quads. So I have it for the Anafi, the Fimi X8 SE, my Mavic 2 Pro, and what else we got here? Those are the main ones I fly. So none of that happens with those quads. Again, you have that big flare here to the left. and depending on where I turn, I get it in the left, and then I'll get it in the right hand corner as well. So it's almost like it's reflecting off the edge of the camera where the lens sets into the camera. It's almost like it's reflecting off of that and messing with it. So I don't know if anybody knows anything about what you're seeing here, and you're really good with cameras and you know all the jargon and suggestions, you know, since the glare of the water shooting into the lens actually gives me a better image than what you're seeing right here, you know, perhaps that's something that I could adjust the shutter. I don't know. So anything you could say to help would be great. But it feels more like I'm being looked down upon by the heavens. See, there's God himself even saying that. That video is terrible. So like right here, where I have that at the bottom left, I should actually have some pretty good video right here. I shouldn't have that at all down at the bottom. It's washed out. It's very bright, but again, it would still be something that's something I could edit and use in my video, if not for that glare I have at the bottom left. So now what we're going to do, and we're pretty much through all this now, we're heading for this mountain. And the one thing I wanted to point out is somebody pointed out to me about the long distance focal points, and this is where it really shows. And it turns out Zino 2 has about a 50 meter focal point, and this right here shows you everything in the distance becomes kind of puffy, real soft, and almost looks like there's frost on the trees. And now we're just gonna fly over the trees with the sun completely at our backs. There's something that's going to be coming up that's really odd that I want to point out. There's a little glow, a white glow, like there's a ghost down in the woods. And I've got the sun completely at my back at that point, and you'll see where that happens. So all this here is not bad at all, but again, it just kind of shows that focal point. What's in front of us looks nice and crisp. What's out in the distance there looks like almost cottony. It looks very soft. It's not defined at all. And like I said, it appears to be about a 50 meter focal point with this camera. So now you're going to see that spot. If you look in that circle, you see that little white glow. It's almost like there's a ghost flying through those trees. Now, I've got the sun 100% at my back right now, and I have no idea what that is. It's traveling and staying in the exact spot on the lens. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what that is. So now we're just gonna fly up. I just wanted to pretty much check out this property up here. So we fly up, and you're gonna see that naturally we lose signal, just because at this point I couldn't make a line with the quad if I wanted to. So right here it hits return to home, but the reason I left this in is because we do that return to home and then it goes into that hover mode. So right now it's return to home, and right here it hits hover mode. So return to home is always interrupted with this hover mode, and I don't know if it's once we start to get a little bit of a signal, then it gives you the ability, it goes into hover mode, gives you the ability to take over yourself. I like that idea, but only if I have full signal. We don't have full signal because at this point it goes right back into return to home mode. So it's that off and on return to home and hover. It's kind of bothers me. But if you look at the trees here, okay, now we have that glare. First of all, we have that glare on the right hand side. But if you look at the trees, it almost looks like I'm flying on a day of nothing but frost. And it's actually, like I said, today was a beautiful day for February. So that's all I have to show you. Thanks guys for watching, and leave comments. Let me know whatever it is you think you could see in this video that I'm not seeing. And as always, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and like, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.